الغسل غسل الجنابة والحيض.
The ghusl from major ritual impurity coming from janaba, meaning after intercourse, or whatever things that the cause about janaba that we talked about.
والحيض والنفاس.
And of course you need to go and review what janaba means. And hayd and nifas, a period, menstruation.
janaba الجماع وخروج المني وهكذا.
The janaba, which comes from, as we said, intercourse, regardless of completion, and completion regardless of intercourse, basically.
هي جنابة. والغسل من الحيض والنفاس.
Ejaculation, regardless of intercourse, and intercourse regardless of completing.
هذا باب مهم جدا.
And menstruation and postnatal bleeding, they carry different rulings, of course. But then after postnatal bleeding and after menstruation, then there needs to be the same type of ghusl.
وقد قال أحد علماء المغاربة الأقدمين كلام النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
And then one of the old Moroccan scholars has said very precious words.
قال لما تكلم على تعلم الحيض قال يجب على الرجل أن يتعلم أحكام الحيض لأنه لا بد له من زوجته وبنات أقل شيء يكون له نساء مسؤول عنهن.
That a person that he said that a man needs to learn the rulings of menstruation and postnatal bleeding, and this is no difference in this matter because a man is responsible for his wife and for his children. And the first responsibility towards them is not feeding them and giving them drink, but rather providing them the deen.
قال ولكن العكس للأسف الآن أصبح الرجال لا يريدون من النساء إلا الطعام والشراب وتنظيف البيت.
He said that that's the opposite of what is found today. The men don't want anything from their wives except to feed them and to give them drink and and so on.
الغسل يجب عموم غسل جميع البدن. المهم واحد يدخل في بحر أو صب عليه يعني من هذه الرشاشات حتى عم جميع بدنه. هذا اغتسل على مذهب أبي حنيفة والشافعي ولو لم يمس شيئا من بدنه، لكن إذا وصل كما سأبينه الماء لكل البدن.
So the most lenient requirement, the single requirement, the most lenient requirement in the Shafi'i Hanafi madhab, or the Hanafi madhab specifically, is the ta'meem, which means ta'meem means amma, means went everywhere. The water covered every inch, every micro, whatever millimeter.
واعلموا أن مذهب الأحناف في الغسل ضيق ونضيق من مذهب مالك في كثير من الأمور.
And know that the Hanafi madhab actually has parts of it, of the ghusl that are required, that are even more strict than the Maliki madhab.
المهم المجمع عليه.
So the thing that everybody agrees upon is ta'meem. Ta'meem must happen.
ولكن تعميم الجسد ما هو معنى.
But what does it mean ta'meem? Just to sprinkle water on top of you?
هذا قد يظن كلكم واحد عمم بدنه وما مس كثير.
A lot of you thinks that just jumping in the shower, and you know that this does ta'meem, that the water got everywhere. But while there's a lot of places that the water did not reach.
العلماء علموا ضعف العوام وغالب الناس عوام.
The scholars knew the weakness of the layman, and most people are laymen.
فبينوا ذلك العموم.
And they described what that ta'meem means.
ولو لم يقولوا أقوالهم ما فهم من العموم.
If we just said get water everywhere, and we didn't look at what the scholar said, we'd never understand what getting water everywhere means.
أشار إلى ذلك العالم المغربي ابن عاشر رحمه الله تعالى المتوفى في القرن التاسع.
The Moroccan scholar Ibn Ashir, who passed away in the 9th century, he clarified this matter.
قال فتابع الخفية مثل الركبتين.
He said, follow the parts that are hidden like the knees, meaning behind the knees.
وكل اليتين بأن تجلس جلسة معتادة حتى يرجع كل مكان إلى مكانه.
And like
جلسة الواحد هكذا جلسة معتادة عادة مرتخي البدن.
That between the glutes also, like if a person sat down
مرتخي جميع البدن.
That no part is clenched. Because then the skin is compacted,
سيرجع طبيعيا.
or there's folds or whatever.
وتابع تلك الطيات.
Sits in this manner, then it spreads the skin in a manner that the water will
وكذلك المرأة لا حياء في الدين.
And such a woman will do that.
تغسل ما يبدو في ذلك الوقت. تغسل ما يبدو في ذلك الوقت.
So then what is apparent in this position, that's what you wash in your private area.
وكذلك تغسل في طهارتها من البول.
And also, as such, that's what she'll wash when she's purifying herself from urination.
وهذا أصعب على المرأة كثير من النساء لا يعلم هذا.
And Sheikh is squatting for his sisters, you cannot see. And this is more difficult for women to clean after urination than it is for men.
يحتاج إلى زوج عارف أو شيخ مثلا يبين لها بدون حياء.
This is something that is required for a sheikh to teach her, or a husband, a sheikh to teach her. She shouldn't be embarrassed if she has nobody to teach her but the sheikh, or her husband should be teaching.
وهي الحكمة من تعديد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم زوجات فوق 4.
And this was from the wisdom of the Prophet ﷺ having more than 4 wives.
ينشر الدين في الناس.
So that the so that the women would be able to be very intimate with the Prophet ﷺ and see him in instances and learn from him in ways that other people couldn't learn, so that they could spread that knowledge to the Muslims.
So, sorry, sitting in the toilet for women or men is not enough when they urinate and do the istijab?
لا المرأة لا بد لها من الماء. المرأة لا بد لها من الماء.
The women would need
but the
water.
sitting, القاعدة نفسها شيء.
لا
التويلت هنا لو هي تجلس للبول. بس هي الجلسة بتكون 90 درجة ما هو كامل ما في استقرار. هذا يعتبر.
نحن سنتكلم عن الغسل وخلينا نمشي إلى استخدام الحمام.
Okay.
We can talk about using the bathroom later.
وسنتكلم عليه أيضا إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله.
And we'll talk about that as well.
هذا ضروري جدا.
This is very important.
ما سكت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم حتى علمنا الحديث الصحيح كيف نستخدم الحمام.
In the authentic hadith,
هذا هو الحب الحقيقي.
The companion said that the Prophet ﷺ even taught us how to use the bathroom. This is the true love.
ونحن مشايخنا لا يتكلمون عن الحمام لأن هذا حياة ونحتاج أن نحترمهم ونقبل رؤوسهم.
And our sheikhs don't talk to us about these things because we should be ashamed and we just need to kiss their heads.
كيس هذا هيس رأس وكيس سمك وبطن ورجل وكل شيء. لا تترك مكانا منه إلا وقبلته واكشف عن عورته وقبله. اتفوا هذا الشيء.
That you have not left any part of this sheikh except you have kissed.
قبله من كل مكان ولا تصلي. لا تصلي مطلقا.
Kiss him from every direction but don't pray.
يصحب شيخا عارف المسالك يقيه في طريقه المهالك يذكره الله إذا رآه ويوصل العبد إلى مولاه. هذا هو الشيخ.
To accompany a sheikh who knows the path, who can save you from destruction and show you the way to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
يذكره الله إذا رآه ويوصل العبد إلى مولاه.
That he reminds him of Allah once he sees him, and that he connects that servant to Allah.
لا إلى خدمته وجمع الأموال له.
Not to himself, not to serving him and gathering money for him.
يغسل جميع البدن يتابع هو قد يأخذ بالدلك وهو مثل مالك ولكن المهم أن يتأكد إذا كان شافعيا أو حنفيا وغيره يتأكد أن الماء وصل إلى هذه الأماكن.
Then a person could take the Maliki opinion and make sure to lightly scrub everywhere with their hands that they cover.
وإذا لم يأخذ ذلك قد يأخذ طريقة أتعب له أيضا قد تكون أتعب له أحيانا.
But otherwise he could take a different way that could be even harder, which is to make sure the water reaches without even scrubbing everywhere.
لكن لابد أن يتأكد أن الماء دخل هنا ووصل هنا ووصل هذا بدون ترك يحتاج إلى وقت أيضا.
But he must make sure that the water it entered there and it entered there, and of course that's impossible.
وماذا سيفعل إذا لم يأخذ بالدلك؟ هل سيعطي أذنه للصبابة يموت يعني؟
What's he going to do about his ear? If he doesn't do that, because he's going to pour water in his ear and die?
حسن يصب عليه الماء يموت الحمد لله. السنة هي السنة. تعرف عنا أنا رأيت واحد حنفي شيء طيب سبحان الله فقيه طيب قال هناك فتوى وهناك تقوى.
That a Hanafi, a nice decent Hanafi, he said that there's fatwa and there's taqwa.
لا تحت فكر بين الفتوى والتقوى. العلماء قالوا فتوى ولكن ما قالوا هذا هو السنة.
The scholars said, okay, this is valid, but they didn't say that this is the sunnah that to leave the dalk behind.
نعم فلا بد أن تتابع جميع طيات الأذن كل ما يتحرك فيه الإصبع وتتأكد أن الماء وصل إليه.
Anywhere that the finger reaches in the ear,
كل ما يدور به فإذا بقي ما يصل إليه رأس الإصبع مسحته داخل لا تراه العين.
and then if you that's required to actually wash everywhere that the ear reaches. But then as far as what is only as far as what the finger reaches in the ear. Now as far as what only the fingertip can reach in the ear, then this is not required to wash but to just wipe or touch lightly.
وتحت كل شعرة الجنابة.
And under
تتأكد
every
كل
hair
شعرة داخل تحتها الماء.
and under every hair is janaba, remains the state of major ritual impurity from janaba. That means you need to make sure
تتابع خلف الأذنين والذقن تتابعه أنه الماء وصل إليه ما تجاوزه.
that go behind your ears and through the beard and everywhere.
وما تحت الذقن لأنه إذا لم تتأمل قد يتجاوز الماء.
And if you don't pay attention, then if you go like this all day, how are you going to reach here without reaching under your beard?
تأمل يا مصري.
So be
يتابع جميع الطيات وكذلك أيضا هاي البراشم إذا لم تتأمل لابد أن تعرف أن وصل إليها الماء وداخل وكلو كانت الأصابع خشينة أحيانا الماء فقط يمر هكذا وإذا كانت الأقدام غير ملساء جدا فأحيانا الماء يصل لابد أن تتأكد من وصول الماء حتى لما هو مثلا في جوانب الأظافر وهكذا.
You need to make sure watch the fingertips under the feet. If the feet are curved, then there's an area of the feet you're walking around in that shower.
والرفق والإبط وبين الأرفاق والإبطين.
Whatever all the folds of anywhere under the armpits.
والسرة تتأكد أن الماء دخل إليها.
One important one is the belly button, the navel, to make sure that that the water reached there.
والغسل بدون تطبيق وبدون جلوس له هذا حكم شبه مستحيل.
And you need to carefully actually attend and make sure without actually putting it into practice properly, then you'll never do it right.
وأما استخدام الحمام.
As for using the bathroom,
لذلك شيء مفقود أيضا.
this is something that is not found today either.
في الحديث أن النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم مر على قبرين كما في البخاري ومسلم فقال يعذبان وما يعذبان في كثير.
And the Prophet ﷺ, when he passed by the grave in the hadith that is mentioned in Bukhari and Muslim, that he passed by two graves, and he said that these people are being punished, and they're not being punished for something that people thought is something that it's a big deal. One of them, he did not clean himself properly in the bathroom. And the other one used to spread rumors and gossip.
عندما يأتي الإنسان إلى الحمام يجب عليه أن يرتخي حتى يزول كل ما يحس به من بول أو قضاء حاجته.
So once a person comes to the bathroom, then they have to sit in a state that they're unclenched, that they're
وهذه الحمامات الموجودة ليست معينة على ذلك.
Relaxed, so that their body facilitates the passage of the waste. And the bathrooms sitting at that 90-degree angle now are not designed for that. الآن شيخ يبيعون وأنا اشتريت واحد لصديقي قبل أيام تجعله تحت هذا لترفع رجلك فوقه.
نعم اشترينا
that they sell these stools.
أنا ما أجلس عليها جلوسهم أجلس عليها كما أجلس. ما أقول بدو كما أجلس على الشريعة. أنا أجلس عليها جلوسهم. لا تمسوا فخذي هذا مطلقا. لا تمسوا فخذي هذا.
That they sell these stools now. There's a one for like $13 called a step and go or whatever.
15,000 I think.
That you put your feet on to make you more in a squatting position to facilitate actually the intestines being aligned properly to be able to pass waste right. And Sheikh said that even in the bathroom, I don't sit. I never let my thighs touch the toilet seat. I sit on it like the same way you'd sit over a hole. To squat over the toilet in a way that but this is of course difficult. It takes balance for some people. They're gonna fall in.
المهم أنه لا بد أن يترك حتى لا يحس بأي شيء يريد الخروج.
But the important thing is that a person must stay relaxed until they make sure that there is nothing else that is going to come out.
فإذا تأكد من ذلك أخذ شيئا يابسا وأزال عنه جميع النجاسة حتى لا يبقى لها أثر من بول وقضاء حاجة.
So step 2 now is to once he is sure that everything has come out, then he takes something dry and
paper يعني هذه الأوراق.
Paper. Now people have toilet paper, and they take away the excess and major solids that
لا يبقى شيء يبقى نظيفا كأنه غسل بالماء.
So he cleans himself as if as if he has cleaned himself with water.
فإذا كان لم ينتشر على المخرج كان يخرج المخرج المعتاد فهذا يكفي بالنسبة للرجل من البول وقضاء الحاجة.
Now if he reaches a point where if he wipes and there's nothing on this, then
كان لا يزيد على المخرج المعتاد.
And whatever came out, it didn't get spread all over the place, that it just came out normally and healthily and so on. Then this suffices him. At least that now he has valid cleanliness. He doesn't have najasa on him.
هذا بالنسبة للرجل كان.
And this is for the man is enough.
ولكن يندب له إضافة الماء إلى ذلك.
But it is preferred for him to also use water in addition to that.
أطيب الماء مدح الله تعالى أهل قباء بقوله فيه رجال يحبون أن يتطهروا فلما سئلوا عن طهارتهم التي كانوا عنها قالوا كنا نستنجي بالماء.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised the people of Quba who built that masjid that Allah said
هذا المسجد فقال فيه بالتكرير.
Allah praised that masjid saying in it are men who love to purify themselves.
فيه كررها مرتين.
In it are men. So twice in it is mentioned.
فيه رجال يحبون أن يتطهروا.
That love to purify themselves. So they asked the people of Quba, how do you purify yourselves? They said with dry and wet, with the water and the
كنا نتطهر بالماء كنا نستنجي بالماء.
That we clean ourselves in the bathroom, not just with something dry, with water.
فإذا كانت المرأة فلا بد لها أن تغسل فرجها من البول قطعا سواء جففت أو تشف.
And for the woman, she must clean her private part upon urinating with the water. Water is necessary.
وبالنسبة لقضاء الحاجة فكالرجل.
And as far as the number 2, then just like the man.
نعم. وأمور الحمام ضيقة والناس لا يعرفون.
And the matters of the bathroom are strict, but people don't know them.
لا بد للرجل أن يعلم أهله ذلك وأولاده.
Then a man must teach this to his children and to his family.
ولو كان ذلك يأخذ وقتا طويلا يجب عليه يتأخر ويحاول الأمور التي تؤدي إلى إخراج ما هو متهيئ للخروج كالتنحنح وكالاستراحة والوقوف والجلوس فلا بد من هذا.
And here's the key. Now for a lot of people that now this takes at least like a minute to 2 minutes. And if they don't wait for this time and they stop, then something is going to come out. So it is necessary then and required absolutely for them to wait until it all comes out, and they can help it come out by coughing or squatting or walking about, going up and down, jumping, you jump.
وأقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والصلاة حضر وقتها وسننتهي حتى نستريح وسأمر في الوقت بعد.
Inshallah, we will see what we will do inshallah later if we have another class. But now it is the time to pray inshallah. So now it's time to pray and to have lunch inshallah, and we'll see what we'll do after.
بارك الله فيكم.